going on, gang? How we doing? Got the bad man slippers on today still. I'm going to do a video on these. Been asked a lot about them, you know. Literally, from Next. 20 bangers. Lit. Although to be fair, I need a new one because this one, I tend to do a lot of steps in it sometimes. It's got a hole in it. Anyway, it's not a slipper review. You know what? Let's see if I can do a little thing. Fuck's sake. What's happening? Hope you've all had a lovely week. I'm now sitting here with one slipper on, one slipper off. Look weird. So yeah, another YouTube video. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate your messages. Receiving a lot of messages lately. I know I don't get back to all of them, especially on Instagram. My filtered DMs inbox is mad. I do see them, and I really appreciate it. It means the world. All your kind messages, and it's lovely to know that the videos are helping. It's lovely to know that they're getting out there. I want to keep pushing the channel. Obviously, I've got a goal. I'd like to get it to 10k first. Is the big goal. Obviously, I'd love 100. I want a little plaque, just like Wagwan. Man's got a plaque on his desk. Not that plaque in your teeth, you know. Anyway, I'm getting a lot of messages about putting everything together. Kind of like, how do you do this and that as one? A little bit confused here, there, and everywhere. And obviously, as you know, with Phantom, we're all about helping everyone. We're all about giving people an insight into what we do, an insight into a little bit of free content. There's a lot on this channel already which people wouldn't give for free. This video is above all of that. It gives a lot. At the same time, the reason we want to do that is because it's not like, oh, we're giving out all the free stuff. We're giving out all the stuff for free, so what's the point in being with Phantom? The difference of it is a lot of our videos, people come in, they join, they leak everything like idiots. They try and flog it for a couple of quid to buy themselves some backy, or buy their nan a flipping, I don't know, a bunion bit of medication or whatever it is, right? They don't have that focus on if they actually put the effort into trade, they could be a lot further ahead in their life. But people come in, they leak stuff, it gets sent around. So I figured, you know what, like Phantom itself is built on the support we give, the understanding we have, the time that we give. It's more or less 24/7 support, around the clock, from coaches, team members, giving you insights, giving you help, giving you feedback, helping people out. If you're stuck, drop it in the questions channel or the appropriate channel, someone will get back to you. It's also the Zooms every week with myself and Aaron and a couple of the other guys. You have bi-weekly backtesting sessions, you have markups coming in every day, you have morning outlooks, which are more or less, they're like basically telling you where we want to trade from. It's a great way for you to obviously look at your markup and kind of, go, oh, actually, I didn't see that, or I didn't see this. We have obviously any new findings that we get, we obviously thoroughly test them, stress test all that sort of stuff, and then we go, oh look, we've noticed this, or we figured this out. We share it with the community. As we level up, you guys level up, and we've had ridiculous amounts of success stories. Obviously, last week, the amount of people writing in the funding channel, I've passed, was actually mental. So if you are in Phantom and obviously you see this video and you're a little bit like, oh, what am I paying for? Just remember what I said, there's a hell of a lot you're paying for, and it's also very cheap when you compare it to other places. It's not that we don't value ourselves, it's the fact that, we pride ourselves in giving elite level education that obviously is affordable, and people all around the world can obviously get that. We're all traders and it's about trading. So obviously I just wanted to say that, I don't want people to think, oh, Albie's just transitioning to YouTube with all the stuff. That's not the case. Obviously my YouTube channel is my YouTube channel. I'm doing my thing on it. But at the same time, I'm very heavily involved in Phantom, and obviously I don't want people to think that obviously I'm just putting everything out there for free. That's not the case. I think this video will help everybody that watches it, and it will push you to new heights in your trading. You might have to watch it 20 times. If you do, mate, it's free. You're watching a video. You probably spend more time watching some dead porn or some random whack OnlyFans or some crap on telly or some rubbish on YouTube. Watch something that's actually informative, it's educational, it's going to get you to where you want to be. Obviously, I'm going to continue to do the stuff on YouTube. I want to do a bit more lifestyle stuff. I get a lot of questions about like just the trader stuff in general. Obviously I did a day in the life video. It didn't really get the reach I thought it would. Maybe it was pants, I don't know. But yeah, I've got loads of different ideas and things I want to do. Just before I get into the video, if you haven't already, I've got a giveaway on Instagram. It ends on the 7th, which is Tuesday. Go and check that out. I'm giving away my 34-inch ultra-wide Samsung curved monitor, USB-C charging, all the jazz with a Vaser mount. Anywhere in the world, I'm shipping it off. So make sure you go and follow the steps on that post on my Instagram. Again, link in bio. If you want my trade plan, we've dropped it in the Telegram channel we have. Again, link in bio. Go and check it out. You'll see that the trade plan will really reference this video. So if you have the trade plan, you have the video, bosh, it's down to you. Put the hard work in, you'll get there. Understand there's no secret sauce. There is no watch one video, I'm a millionaire. It's not even about being a millionaire. It's about the freedom. It's about having the time to do what you want, where you want, wherever you want. And it's about keeping away those 9-to-5 jobs and obviously using the money from trading to invest into other things, having multiple income streams. Most millionaires don't just have one, they'll have between 6 to 7. Trading is a very good base to start building that that wealth generating tool. What I would say is if you've got a good job and you can work it around trading and you earn good money, but you're maybe a bit ungrateful about it because you think you hate it or whatever, just remember if you could do that and trade, now you've got 2 incomes. You know, from trading you can invest money into, I don't know, stocks, cryptos, property, whatever it is, your own businesses, boom, 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 boom. Things are starting to now grow, you're starting to generate wealth. I want to retire by the time I'm like 35 to 40. I've got 27, you know, I've got like 7-8 years till I'm 35. I'd love to be retired. Not to the point where I'm like just sitting on my ass playing games all day, but to the point where I'm like, well, I'm truly free. Kids are set up, you know, we've got money for them when they get older. We've got property, own a house, own other houses, can travel, maybe a villa abroad, you know, all those different things. So I'm working towards that. Like I say, you know, I hope this video helps. Let me know. We're nearly at 6k subs. If we can hit 6k today, that'd be lit. I'd love to get 10k by the end of the year. I know that's really pushing it. But as always, if you guys could just like, subscribe, share it on your Instagram stories, share it with your mates, whatever it is, it really truly helps. Make sure they subscribe as well. You know, I know there's a lot of channels out there giving out great information. There's also a lot that give out rubbish and they get so many views, it's bonkers. I'm not out here begging for subscribers and likes and that. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But it would be nice that these videos reach the right people because essentially they're free, it's free material. Yeah, so like I say, check out the links in the description. Everything's there. Enjoy the video, have an incredible week. Let's smash it. Coming up to the end of the year. Look back and reflect. What have you done this year? What have you achieved? What haven't you achieved? Why haven't you achieved it? And let's go. 2022, it's going to be huge. Love you all. Appreciate all your support. Peace and love. Hi guys and girls, how are we doing? Hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. So I just wanted to hop on here and go over some questions that I get asked a lot, you know, about overall process. So like trading routine, you know, how do you analyze the charts? What do you do before session? What do you do during session? And just covering, you know, a real sort of systematic approach, showcasing a couple of entries to, again, you know, filter out any confusion that anyone may have in regards to, you know, getting involved in the market and how we're getting involved. It should hopefully clear up any markups that maybe you're unaware of, or for anyone that's new that hasn't quite got through all the content yet. I advise that you should be doing that before you start, you know, trying to trade live. So, you know, if you haven't gone through all the content and everything yet, especially the new stuff, you know, really you shouldn't be watching this. No doubt you are. So if you are, fair play. But I would, you know, don't try and rush it. Don't force it. Don't feel like you've got to, you know, hurry up and make money because FX won't be here tomorrow. You know, it's not the case. The whole point in this is, you know, me delivering my style and how I'm seeing the markets, how I'm trading the markets. I've got it to a very simple, systematic approach. A lot of you may know me from previously in Phantom, where I did have I spent a lot of time trying to, you know, refine and I guess overcomplicate things. So, you know, basically, I'm delivering it in a simple way and it may look very easy and, you know, it is essentially, but that's thousands of hours of work to get to this point. You need to understand that you need to go and put that work into, right? We can show you everything that we do, but if it doesn't make sense, it's because your mind, you know, can't comprehend that right now. It doesn't believe in it. So you need to go and prove that through, you know, back testing, through data collecting, through studies, etc., etc., etc. So basically, my whole approach is following 4-hour EOF, pairing it with 15M, and you know that is it. I trade out of 4-hour, 15-minute zones. If I can't see anything on the 15M and there's a 30M or a 10M, I will refine it, but I don't go any lower. I don't match structure on 5M and 1 hour. I don't even use the 1 hour. For me, I want a very simple approach. I want to know that over and over again, if I execute that approach, that edge, I'll be consistent. So 4 hour and 15M, ideally following that, and just playing out of 15-minute zones, and if we look just quickly here at the recent 15-minute zones, on all this data, you can see that, all the moves are coming out of 15-minute levels, right? Me and Sam obviously got a Zoom tomorrow on structure. So, structure plays a huge part. If you're unable to read it, then you are going to get a little bit lost. But right, so what I want to do is I want to sort of, recreate what I would be doing. Let's say, this is current PA and it's Sunday evening. What am I going to do? How do I mark my chart up? What am I doing? Well, I always leave, my swing highs, swing lows, my breaks, and my POIs of supply and demand. I always leave these on my chart just so I can get a good picture of where we've been, what price has been doing. And then I'm obviously going up the time frame, 4 hour. I do check the daily and I do check the weekly once a week just to be aware of where we are. You can't, not look at those areas. They're very important. So as we can see here, if we just have a quick run through, we are, here we go. Right, so I'll be coming to the chart and I'll be saying to myself, right, well, we've come into this daily here, which is pretty much at the extreme of this whole leg, right? So I'm expecting some form of reaction. We can see as we're coming in here, we are kind of compressing a fair bit. Nonetheless, we are breaking lows, right? And if I just zoom in here, we can see that we just took out these lows. So we know that when we take out a low or high, we're expecting the likelihood to get a pullback. So I'm like, okay, we're in a daily zone. We could see a pullback now. Now I wouldn't start targeting, levels up here. Of course, if you're getting a daily mitigation, the next level should be a daily mitigation. But at the time, you've got this bad boy here, which obviously created this low to fail. So I'd be interested in, maybe this is the level that we could see a reaction from. I'd go on the 4 hour and just see if there's anything I need to be aware of on the 4 hour. And, there's this 4 hour level below, which we haven't quite got to yet. But overall, we've just tapped the top of this sell to buy 4 hour range, which is the daily candle, right? So I'm then looking here on the 4 hour and we can see that we've been putting in new lows. We've had strong high here, which has taken out these lows. We've then come back to test and mitigate that level and it's gone and followed through and put in a new low. Now, again, just quickly, may do a video on this on a later date, but strong highs, strong lows, weak highs, weak lows. They're essentially their EOF, but they're a very good way for us to get out of trades, to have an exit plan, right? Now, a strong high in this instance here will take liquidity like this. It will usually happen at a higher time frame mitigation. It will be very aggressive in and out straight away, and it has to break swing structure, and that's the real key. If it fails to break swing structure, then essentially it's weak, and then we can deem that as possible target, right? But as we can see here, this follows through. It creates a future mitigation. What does price do? It comes back, it holds here, then this level here takes out these lows, now giving this that strong high status, right? Now, if we go on to the 15M, let's make this bigger, pull this across. So, right, again, we're looking at, how do we frame up an idea before the session, right? So we can see here that the 15M, we're bearish. We took out these low, we pulled back. This high took out this low. So at the moment, this is a strong high. It did its job, right? It took out these lows, it broke swing structure. And if we look to the left, we've had a huge liquidation. We've taken out these lows here. This is our second drive into this daily level. So for me now, what I'd be looking at is, right, okay, well, essentially we've broken a 4 hour level. We're in a daily level. We're at low prices. We've broken a 15-minute level here. We should expect a form of pullback, right? But rather than sitting there on the 1M now, trying to guess and take loads of hits, I'm going to wait for the first sign of bullish intention, and that would be my 15M chalk, right? Now, again, chalk, boss, completely different things. I've gone over this 1 billion times. A change of character is essentially we're putting in lower, low, lower, high, and then we stop putting in lower, 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 high, and we break that and start putting in high, 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 low. So it's that first initial, right, we could be seeing some bullish intention. Paired with a higher time frame mitigation, it's very powerful. So what I would be doing is I go, right, well, I need to see how we wake up now, right? So I'm going to fast forward. Imagine we've just had a nice sleep and we've just whizzed off to London, right? So I usually get to the chart about 6:30 UK time. I start trading around 7 and I usually trade till about 10 a.m.
If there's a setup, if there's not, then I'll come back tomorrow. So what I'm looking for is, are we going to get any 15M chocks? Are we going to fail to, to take out this low? I mean, is this low going to hold? What's going to happen, right? Because we can't say at the moment this is a strong low, because in theory, for it to be strong, it's got to take out the swing high. Now, I'm not going to say I've got to wait for the swing high to go before I get involved, because by then you've missed a move, right? Which is why the chock's really powerful. So we are fast forwarding. Let me fast forward to London, and this is what I would do. Where are we? 4. And right, so I've done the chart now, right? And make this bigger for you guys. I would put this on for my premium and discount. Right, so I know that the likelihood is we may well pull back into this level here, at least into the premium, before we look for a continuation shorts. But I'm also aware that we're inside a daily level that is going to, is going to hold a lot of weight. You can't just say our daily doesn't mean anything, right? It's going to do something. And we could be looking for, there's plenty of levels here that we could react off. And of course, there's levels up here from CPI and stuff that, again, are unmitigated, right? And you can see here again, takes out liquidity, breaks swing structure, creates a future mitigation, happened at a higher time frame mitigation. So again, we've got a strong high here at the moment, right? So, but first we've got this swing high to take out. And again, swing highs, great levels to trade off. So I'm coming to the chart and I'm going, right, well, what's happened? Well, as I can see here, where's the magnet? There. We took out this low with a wick, right? Now this is chalk, okay? Please don't start saying this is boss, okay? I like to see body breaks, but for chalk, I'm happy to see the low go here, and then I'm happy to see a high go, and then I'll start to say, right, we're seeing bullish intention creep into the market, right? So if I look here, and again, go and test this stuff, right? So what I'm looking at is we had this little doji, right here, magnet, and just make this bigger so you guys can see it. Obviously, we mitigated here, right? Now, this doji took out this low, right? Internal structure, right? Took out the low, so it created a supply zone, right? Now, if this supply zone is to follow through, it should have put in a new low, right? Well, as you can see, we reacted here, right? Price pulled back and then took this level out, okay? Completely took out this level. So it created a future mitigation here, this inside bar. So this for me is the extreme of this move. It's a flip zone, right? And it's also, it's a change of character. Now, again, for a flip, just quickly, if we're coming into a supply zone here and we pull back, we fail to take that out and then pull back, I'm not entering here because it hasn't taken out that supply zone. For all I know now, that could have mitigated that and just melt, right? So it's really important that you see the reaction fail, which this is the reaction here, right? Price comes up, pulls back. If it doesn't take it out, then it's not valid, okay? So what we want to see is comes in, I think goes to art school, so sorry about that. Pulls back, takes it out, right? Now, this is completely valid now to enter here, okay? I know that it hasn't taken out the supply, and that's fine. There's two types of this, right? You can enter it here because it took out that reaction. It failed to create a new low. So this is our entry because this is essentially where we're seeing that those transactions happen and that change in from supply to demand, hence the flip, right? Now, again, the other way of looking at it is it can do this. It can come in, react, pull back, and take the whole supply zone out. And again, that's completely fine. That's valid, right? And there's a lot of them that will do that. And in the process, they will completely change character. I like to compare the both, right? But it's really important that this reaction is taken out. If it's not, I'm not entering. No way, because it's not showing you that this supply has failed. And you're going to put your stop here and just get smashed, right? So obviously, it's the same applies for the higher time frame stuff. So here, I'm identifying a flip zone, right? So I'm identifying a 15M demand that I'm happy to take a trade off. And then what I'm doing is I'm also looking up and I'm going, right, okay, well, these only closed with wicks. And then what actually took out this level with the body was this inside bar here. So I'm thinking, all right, we've got this inside bar as well. We can't, ignore it and say it's not valid. Now, of course, you can just say to yourself, I'm only trading extremes. Completely fine. The extreme is usually the level that's going to go and put in maybe a new swing high, but you can't avoid this level here is completely valid to look for a trade. And they both have, we have this level here, which is acting as inducement. Again, I keep seeing inducement get asked as what is it? What does it mean? It's essentially liquidity before a mitigation, right, of this POI. So it needs liquidity, right, to fuel this move down, take the liquidity, mitigate this level, and then fuel the move back up. We also have liquidity here, right? Again, acting as inducement. Now, you know, you may have already entered this, and that's fine. If you've taken this trade, I mean, for me, it's 5:45. I don't trade those hours. I know many of you might, and there's nothing to say this is wrong. It's tapped. If it's giving you the setup you want to see, you can take this trade. Right now, if we just zoom back out so you can see what this picture's looking like. So we've now got 2 levels, right? So what I'm doing now, and this is my approach, is I would set an alert on just a pip or so above this one and a pip or so above that one, right? And what I'm waiting for now is the alert to go, ping, come back, and see if I can get involved, right? Now, again, when you've got a level underneath, you need to be mindful of, if you're trading off this one, which, you know, you can call it the decisional, it may not be the one that goes and puts in new highs. It may not be the one that gets back to premium, right? It may just drop more inducement for this lower mitigation. So if you are getting in here, again, I'll show you exactly how I would get out and have an exit plan. And it's really important that the 3 most important things for me are risk management, entry, and exit. You should have that nailed before you enter a trade. If you're getting in a trade and like, I don't know where to target, you should not be in that trade. So obviously this extreme here is the level that we would like, but again, I'm not going to miss out on an opportunity off this level here. So if we drop down to the 1M, I'm going to go through all these. Well, I'm going to go through 2 entry examples, and I'm going to go through them on the 1M. I'm not going to go to seconds. I want to keep it nice and simple. You don't need the seconds to trade this. Like I always say, you literally need a couple of these trades a month and you're laughing. You know, everyone's aim should be 10% a month consistently. And, you know, using just the 1M with exactly the same parameters I've just shown you, you can make that very comfortably. So don't get, you know, caught up in, I've got to trade every day. Oh, I need the seconds because, you know, my man Bob in the EU chat took a juicy 5-second entry, or that guy Alb took a mad 5-second flip and I need it. You don't need it, right? I know I've got it, and that might sound hypocritical, but I'm happy. And I've spent enough time on the 1 minute to know that if it's not there on the 1M, I can go to the seconds. And if it's clean enough, I will take it. It's all the same stuff, right? But I just want to reiterate, you don't need to have the seconds, okay? So now what we want to see, I'm not going to look at any of this. Anyone that just says, you know, sit on the 1M, you can understand what's popping and all that, right? You'll probably take 3 or 4 hits on the way down to this. You're going to have no confidence by the time it comes back, right? You need to be using the higher time frame. And like I say, 4 hour, 15M. It's that simple, right? So wait for price to come down. Now, just quickly to touch on, what I want to see when price is coming in is very simple. This is my entry model, okay? It's as simple as that. And I showcase this every day. So it's not some new source, but I just wanted to do a video so maybe you can see the thought process happening. Again, remember, I'm not sitting here now watching every candle form. I've got an alert here. I'm chilling with the kids. I'm making packed lunches. I'm probably in the Discord replying to some DMs. I'm probably waffling, to be fair, in the EU chat. You know, I'm not sitting here watching every candle because it starts to entice you. You might see this here and go, oh, I've got to get in, I've got to get in, I've got to get in. No, man, just chill out, right? We're just going to wait. So my entry model, sorry, I waffled a bit there. What I want to see is, let me get price to my entry, then it'll be a little bit easier to show you exactly what I want. Right, so London opens. You know, yeah, all right, you might have taken some shorts here, you might have been in long, you know, whatever. I'm confident in waiting for the right levels because they get hit. You know, we've just built up a logic behind them and why they are powerful, you know, why they're valid. So now here's the entry model, right? Liquidation, number 1. I want to see some form of liquidity taken out. Bosh, right? Mitigation, higher time frame. Bosh. I want to see an aggressive reaction like this. This is beautiful, okay, like textbook. Only, right, from what we believe, BFIs or, you know, banks, financial institutions, whatever you want to call it, only they can run price in that aggressive and run it out just as aggressive, okay? We can't do that. With all our lots and everything, we're a very, very small fish. So when I'm seeing that, this is showing me there's some form of activity here and I want to be a part of it. I want to ride that train, right? I want to choo-choo along with it, okay? So what I'm seeing here now is liquidation, mitigation, aggressive reaction. Now I want to see a change of character and I want to see a flip. See that? I'm smashing the granny out of it, right? That is simply it. Yes, it might sound like, oh my God, that's really easy. It's taken me ages to get to this point of understanding. So please, please ensure that you're testing it. Please ensure that you're actually digging into this stuff because I promise you it happens over and over and over again. And you know what? If it doesn't happen on your POI and price goes to the moon, just accept it. We don't need to take crappy trades. Okay. So I'm looking at this level here. Right, we've got this supply level here, which has caused this low to fail. So this is our supply. Just mark it on for you. And again, with chop, you know, remember, it's not bosses, it's aggressive. I am aggressive with it, yes, but you're only going to get that confidence from testing it. On the seconds, it's structure, right? On here right now, it's not. It's just simply a change of character. It's showing me bullish intentions, and that's all I need to see. So right here, right now, taking that's low. If we can take this high and we get a reaction to this supply, I'm all over it. But for me, if price just goes pyong, I'm not trading that, because it showed there was no interaction here from buyers and sellers. And the likelihood is that it's probably just going to continue lower. Okay. So again, please don't start taking chops and flips in the middle of nowhere. It needs to be these sequence of events: higher time frame mitigation, liquidation, aggressive reaction out, paired with the 15M chock that we just built this whole story off earlier, right? And if I just go out, just to remind you guys, all right, here, right, we took these lows, took these highs, and that's what confirmed these levels. This one was a flip zone, okay? This one broke above that supply slightly. You could also say this one is a flip zone. Both have inducement, both in the discount. We're inside a daily, we're playing a pullback, right? It's the same thing on every trade, right? Every single one of my markups is always the same stuff, okay? So back to the 1M. So let's see, let's play it on. Right, we come in, instantly we're getting a reaction, okay? This is showing us sellers trying to push the market down. What happens next? Boom, we've had a reaction, okay? Now it hasn't taken out this low, right? So if we take out this high, this reaction right here, I'm gonna mark it. This is what we wanna see. This is what a flip is. Let's just put boss, right? Dotted line. Right, this is the reaction failing, because it should create a new low in the market and it doesn't. What happens next? Bosh. We take the reaction out, we take the supply out, and we complete chalk. I'm smashing the granny out of that sell to buy. That for me is where the money came into the market. That for me is what completed my entry model. So I'm going to enter at the open and I'm going to put my stop below this low. Okay. So put that there. And again, you know, I try and keep it, you know, 2 pips is my max. I'm not going to try and cover that low. I'm not interested. It didn't do anything. Yes, I know it can come to the extreme. And I know GU is a little bit more likely to return to extremes. EU doesn't. But for me here, we've just witnessed every single event we want to see. We've completed a change of character. This candle completed the change of character and the flip. So for me, I'm happy to take the risk. You know what? If it smashes me, cool. If the trade's valid still, I'll get back in. So 2 pips, I mean, cover the low if you want, 1.8, completely down to you. Right, now you're probably gonna go, right, so is it moon vibes? Well, for me, the answer is no, it's not moon vibes, right? And the reason for that, if I just move this across, is because we still have this extreme, right? And what we can't do is just say to ourselves, this has to go up, right? We have a level underneath and we've now just created more liquidity and likely more inducement. Price could run lower. So you're going to get in here and think, yeah, off to the races, mate, job done. Okay. I'm going to get in and think, right, well, hang on a minute. If we just look at this, what's happened? Well, we mitigated this supply zone, which was in the premium. Okay. Here. It failed to create a new low. It never broke swing structure. So what did I say about that? If it didn't break swing structure, it's likely a weak high. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to target that high, which is a 6.61% trade. And what I would do here is I would pull 80% at the high, or even 90 if you want, and I would let the rest run. If it does go, I've got skin in the game, happy days. But if it doesn't go and it does come for this lower level, you know what? I've took probably 5%, 4.5%, and it's going to be like 9 a.m., right? You cannot grumble at that. There's communities out there that would give anything for that. There's investors out there that if you said you could make that a month, they would bite your arm off, right? So please, please don't think everything's got to go to the moon. You've got to have reason and logic behind that trade idea. If you're trading an extreme, yes, it should realistically come into this premium level because it's the last level for price to go up. I will take a trade off this any day of the week, right? So back on the 1M here. Let's just move this over a little bit. So it's moved. Right. So we get tagged, beautiful reaction, right? And like I say, you know, I'm not bothered. All I'm doing in this moment in time, right, is I'm setting an alert just before this high, and I'm setting an alert at 1 to 4. Because that's where I would take my partials to cover my risk. Now, I wouldn't move my stop to break even. I leave my stop where it is and I take enough off at 1 to 4 to cover my risk. So let's say I risk 1,400 quid in GBP. When I get here, I want to take off 1,400 quid, but leave my stop open. Because many times price will do this, ping and go. And then you're sitting there with a break even, probably lost commission, gutted because your trade ideas played out. Right. So for me, that's how I'm managing. Okay. And that's the same on everything. Right. And you know what? Like it really does. It's easy on the mind and it helps you a lot. So now I'm, walking away. I'm back in Discord waffling. Okay. And what I'm waiting for is, do we get that ping? I'm not worried about this now. I'm not watching every candle, shaking, worrying. I couldn't care less. I've got no attachment anymore. And it's taken me ages to get to that point. But you cannot be attached to your trade. If you're attached to that trade, you're going to have a nightmare trading. Win or lose, you can't be attached. Detach yourself from the outcome, bring trading, bring funding, bring everything off the pedestal and, bring winning off the pedestal. Winning, losing, same thing, right? I know if I execute this exact edge over and over again, I'm going to make dough. If I don't, I'm going to have a hard time, okay? So risk-free. So now the trade can do whatever it wants. I couldn't care less, right? And like I say, we're targeting this up here. Right, so alert goes off, you're pulling 80%. If you've got management in place, you would have had a TP there to pull 80%, 90%. You know what, you set the lot, it's completely down to you, okay? What I like to do is I always like to leave very, very small amounts running in a trade, just because if this does go to put in new 4-hour highs, for instance, I've been involved in that trade. And what that does for my psychology is it makes me go, you know what, your trade idea overall was very logical. It got to your end result. So you need to be more confident in holding. Because it's a decisional, I'm not going to do that, right? I'd let some run, and I'm happy with what happens next. I'm not going to now try and look for shorts. I'm not going to try and go on a madness. I'm going to wait. I've got an alert down here, right? And I've taken my profit up here. So I don't care what happens now. I've paid myself for the day. And you might be like, yeah, but you took a little bit off at 1 to 4. You took some partials here. You've not made much. I've probably made 4%, and I've got some running. And if it comes back down, it takes me out, right? Whatever. But that 4%, for me now, if I take the long here and I lose, it doesn't matter. I finish the day up. You do that every day, you're still going to make serious bank, right? So it's really important, again, not to let your ego and let the whole, I've got to be a millionaire, whip in a Lambo, and floss a massive watch on my wrist, get in control of your trading, right? It's about longevity and it's about ensuring that you can be consistent and you can take on those fundings with confidence. If you can't, then there's a problem, right? So let's play this on. So after we take out this liquidity, we take out this supply zone, we do get a reaction, and price starts coming down pretty aggressive, which is fine. We're taking out this, we took some money from the market, let's reevaluate it, right? So remember what I said, okay? I want to see the same sequence of events. And these are such good examples. And most of them are like this, but I wanted to show these because they're literally identical, okay? It's the same thing, right? Happening over and over again. What we have to do is we have to say to ourselves, did it do this? Did it do that? I've printed off a little laminated piece of paper with literally what I've said to you, the 4-hour, the 15M, and I've got my entry model on it, purely because as many times where my entry model would happen, I might second guess it, I might debate it, and by then it's gone. So if it's laminated, so I've got like a marker pen and I can like tick, tick, tick next to it really, really quickly, right? It's literally on my desk and I can go, right, has it liquidated? Well, yeah, it's just taken out all this. Cool. Has it mitigated something? Yeah, we're inside of 15M. Brilliant. Have we had an aggressive reaction out? We sure have. Right, so now what am I waiting for? Well, I'm waiting for chalk, I'm waiting for flip. Right, if I don't get it, whatever, couldn't care less. So we take out these lows, right, here. So chalk down, and then we can be looking for chalk up, right? Whether you want to use this level here for our chalk up, okay? Now, this level here looks like the supply, right, that took out this low. You can see how price just doesn't care, straight through. Right, so for me, no battle happened there. There was no battle of supply and demand. So I'm not now looking for this. I'm aware of this wick, and I'm also aware of this up here. So you can mark both of these levels out. Supply, you can mark out the wick. Of course, if you've got the seconds, this is where you dig, and that's where the seconds can be handy, right? Sometimes you do have to go, right, what's happening? What you can do is wait. Okay, you don't have to get in straight away. You can wait. You don't know what's happened here on the 5 seconds, for instance. Let's say we don't have the 5 seconds. I don't know if I click it, if it will let me go back. That's why I haven't, because I'll lose everything. So we just play this on. So we've just had a reaction here. We sold, right? Failed, and we took that out. So you could quite comfortably, and we completed this change of character. You could happily enter off this level here, right? Like that. And you could say, right, I want to cover that. I don't like that sign of stop, so 1.5, right? And you're very well positioned there and say, yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, and that is completely valid. And on the seconds, it would look much better, right? Here, price comes back in. It breaks below this, which means there was probably something on the seconds here. And if I remember correctly, it was a 1 second inside bar that actually was a flip here. But obviously on this time frame, you can't see that. Okay, but you can see how straight away we're in this trade, right? So what would I be doing now? Okay, well, what I would do, again, I go on the 15M, and this is why I use the week high, week low concept mainly on 15 and 4. I don't try and use it on every time frame because it gets bonkers. Keep your stuff very systematic. It's so much easier. Here, this is a week high. Why? Well, this high failed to take out these lows, right? We're in the discount. We're playing off an extreme. Everything's in our favor. I'm targeting that at minimum, but because it's an extreme, I'm expecting something here. Realistically, you can expect a test to swing high, okay? But of course, you've got levels here of supply that you need to get through first. Again, don't be greedy. If we pull this trade out quickly, that's a 1 to 11.5, just to the high, okay? That's without bringing it up to somewhere like this, where you're now talking about 1 to 34. I mean, that's months done, that's quarters done, that's whatever you want to do. You have to realize how much that is on a couple of funded accounts, even on one account, right? But straight away, that would be where I'd be looking. So I'd be like, right, well, I'm going to set an alert there, and I'm going to leave the trade to do what it wants. Obviously, I have an alert 1 to 4, okay? And I would let that play out. Now, that's one entry, okay? I know this is moved because I've moved the thing, right? Again, just to show you, it's the same thing. If I really, really zoom in on this, because I really want you all to understand this, this here is what we wanted to be taken out. This was our reaction, fail, taken out. So instantly, you can play this that caused it, and that's your entry. I don't go below 1.5 pips. I only go below that if, say I was entering here, if it had done the same thing and 1.5 pips was like down there, I wouldn't do that. I would just cover this low because the trade idea I'm playing is that low, okay? But in this case, you know, I think 1 pip was like here. So I think you stayed in with 1 pip, but again, I just have that rule. It's just, again, having that systematic rule that you have to follow. So here, you know, this is completely valid, right? No doubt about it. But maybe you didn't see that, or maybe you missed that. And now you're in the EU chat going, oh, mate, I don't understand all this. This don't work. Oh, there's not enough content. No, it works. It's there. We just wait for the next one. We have this supply level, right? So look at this low. It's not had a mitigation. We've dropped inducement before it. If we come into this and it fails to print a low and we do something like this, I'm game on. We can get back in the trade again. You can load up on this trade if you want to. If you only want to take one position, right? So, see what happens. Right, so we've come in, reacting to our supply. We've had a reaction. And we've just taken that reaction out. Okay, see how the reaction fails. Now, obviously here, it's not very clear. You're like, oh, what do I enter off that? What about this? You know, well, yeah, okay, you know, this come into this, it reacted, it pushed, it took out this. But this is where the battle happened. The battle wasn't here, it was here. Now, of course, this is pretty crap, right? So you could say, I don't like that. It's not clean enough. I don't know what I want to enter off. For me, I'm looking at the wicks and I'm like, right, well, how big's my stop? Can I get 1.5? Yeah. Will that likely keep me in the trade? More than likely, right? See what happens. So you'd be tagged straight in, okay? And then you have to act quick. There's no denying that, right? But what you can wait for is just wait for a cleaner level. Oh, look, now we've taken out the whole level of supply, right? So you could then look to get in off this sell to buy here if you're not already in the trade. For me, this makes complete sense. I'd probably, to be honest with you, I'd already be in it. I'd be in here, okay? But I just wanted to show you that, again, there's more than one entry, the exact same thing. What happened here? We took this out there, right? Now, for me, a flip, when I'm looking at reactions fail, I'll play wicks. I don't need just a body, right? That's me. I've seen that happen over and over again, and I'm comfortable in executing that. As you can see here, when the body does close above is when you're fully in the trade now and it's game on, right? Same here. Body closes above, price comes back down, off we go, okay? Again, if I was being greedy and I was like, no, you know what? It's got to just cover that. 0.6 pick stop. Yeah, sick, man. No, I'm out now. Well, that was stupid because now what? Well, price is just going to get a move on. And I'm going to be like, oh, I'm out. I'm an idiot. So no, I'm not going to do that. 1.5, sweet, it's plenty, right? We're in this trade. We could be in this trade here as well because this was completely valid, right? And again, I'm not going to go, I'm going to cover that with 0.3 or, oh, look, you know what, 0.8, yeah, sweet, sweet. No, I'm going to go 1.5. It's having that discipline. It's having that plan, right? Both of these, exact same. Look at how this trade is the exact same. This is a very clean example. It's a very easy supply to spot, but it's the same thing. Liquidation, mitigation, aggression out, chalk, flip, smash the granny out of it. That is it. There's no other source that I'm hiding from you. That's the one, right? It just takes a lot of testing, a lot of understanding, and a lot of data gathering, okay? From here, like I said, we're targeting this at minimum for partials, okay? Now, if you got in both, you got an 11.6 and a 9.8. If you got in one, you basically 10%. And remember, you took 4 off this. So, I mean, that's a sick day. That's a sick week, right? And a lot of the time, I'll be honest with you guys, on funded accounts, when I've done that sort of thing, week 1 or week 2, a lot of the time, I'll just bank it, lock it in, lock the funding away and go back to my personal. Because that for me, it's a mega wage. And I'm about that consistent earnings every month. Not, oh, I had a big, massive fluke and then I can't really get consistency. This is stressful. I'd rather make 20% a month and just chill out, right? And I think it's something that we all need to get used to. There's no race to get into those 7-8 figures you want. You want to have clear, concise results, a clear edge that happens over and over and over again, because ultimately that's what's going to keep you in this game for a long period of time, right? And then here, play this on just to show you where we get. I don't know how long I've rambled for. I don't think it's been that long. Right, so here, right, boom, look, price runs off, it does its thing, okay? And we just, we just made a load of dough. And at this point, once I'm in, my job is done here. Our job is done at that point. We set our alerts for our partials, we set our alerts for our TP. If you've got management, you can do it automatically. And you go and enjoy your day, man. Go and enjoy your freedom. Go and waffle in EU. Go and do some testing. Go out with the kids. Go and see the missus. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do. You're in a trade, you're earning money. You don't need to sit there and watch every candle and stress when it pulls back or freak out. It got to our target. Why? Because we use logic. We use the correct zones. This entry model, you might see it everywhere. It doesn't mean it works everywhere. It works with the same concept that I've shown you. The 15M, right? The level where we're at. Are we at low prices? Are we at high prices? Is it a valid flip zone? Did it change character? Did it show us intent? Is it in a daily? Is it in a 4-hour? These are all the things that we need to be making sure. Not just, why didn't this work? It chopped and flipped. Yeah, great, mate, but you're in the middle of a leg. That's not what we want. Okay, and I can't stress that enough. And if we just quickly go out and we go back on the 15M, obviously with this trades, like I say, any of these levels here make complete sense, whether it's this sell to buy here, sorry, this buy to sell, whether it's the swing high, whatever it is, ultimately it should test the swing high. It's coming off an extreme and it's coming out of a daily. What does price go and do? Oh, look, we test the swing. What happens? We break the swing. If you've got the confidence in this trade idea and your understanding of the level you're at and where you are, always take something at this high. It's the first target. We've got to pay ourselves, right? But ultimately, let something run. Why? Because now you've just gone and bagged to 20. Oh, that's the wrong trade. Sorry. Just gone and bagged a 1 to 33 and a 1 to 32. I mean, that's you could take the year off if you've got a couple of funded accounts, right? Like, I'll be honest with you guys, I've never had full volume run into that much. I don't. For me, most of my volume comes off at this high here, the 15M high, because for me, that's 1 to 10. I'm sweet with that. I'll take 80%, I'll let 20% run. Between here and here, I might make a couple of grand more. You know what? Sweet. It's still a couple of grand more. And you know what? I didn't have to do anything for it. My work was done at 10 a.m. So I'm sweet, right? So I hope that helps for starters. I hope it really clears things up. If you've got questions, please feel free to reach out, but please make sure that you've actually gone and looked at this and you've used the exact same points that I've mentioned and you've paired it with all my markups. You've paired it with the recent content. You've looked at other markups. You're aware of what's going on. If you just send me a message going, hey, I don't get this, I don't get that, but you haven't looked into it, that's what winds us up. Okay, we want to help. We want to, we want everyone smashing the granny out of it, right? But you need to understand that I didn't get to this position and the team didn't get to this position just by someone going, here, I can show you this 1,000 times, right? But if you don't believe it and you don't understand and see it, then you're not going to be able to execute it in a live condition when you've got money on the line, right? So you need to remember that you have to put that work in. And like anything, right, I'm not bothered about an L. If this first one took me out, didn't even get anything off it, and it came to this second one, I would never have hesitated. 4 or 5 months ago, I probably would have. But because I've got this edge so glued into my head, right, I know that if I'm using, we're dealing with probabilities, right? And if I'm using all of the things that I've just gone on about, I know that I've only got to be right half the time to make money because of the RR, right? You lose -1 and then bosh, you've just done a 1 to 20, right? So for me, I'm not fussed if I get it wrong once or twice. I get it wrong, right? I mean, I shared an L the other day. I took an L. The next one went to 1 to 11. That L doesn't bother me anymore. But you can only get to that point if you're confident and comfortable in what it is that you're doing. So please ensure that you're doing that, right? We've got a lot of, like, you know, I hope exciting things coming up with Phantom, lots of things in place, you know, a lot more interactive stuff, etc., etc. So, you know, keep your eyes peeled for that. If you found this of value, I am looking to do a few more trade recaps and making it more of a consistent thing. So please let me know if you'd like to see that. And yeah, man, just, you know, like I say, just reach out to us if you get stuck with anything. And, you know, if you're thinking about leaking this, sweet, you know, crack on. Just make sure that if you are watching this on a leaked source, come and check out Phantom Trading, because as you can see in this video, we've got the source, man, and we'll help you on your journey, right? So, you know, make sure you check us out. Have an incredible rest of Sunday. And I shall catch you all tomorrow for another action-packed week. Peace out, guys.